Heartland Highways is made possible in part by
Consolidated Communications offers customers high-speed internet, digital phone service, and digital TV service packages that include high-definition channels, DVR, and hundreds of sports, movies, and music channels. More information on these services is available at consolidated.com. Just ahead, we wrap up the season with the show we call Heartland Highways at Home.
We'll take you to our workplace, WEIU TV, and the university we call home.
Then we'll show off our communities of Charleston and Mattoon, as well as some special sites in Coles County.
So come along as we show you where we live, work, and play.
Next on Heartland Highways. There's no place like home, and this week we're staying close with Heartland Highways at Home.
We begin with a tour of where we work at WEIU TV in Charleston, Illinois. WEIU is part of Eastern Illinois University and makes its home in Buzzard Hall.
WEIU began during the presidency of Dr. Dan Marvin, and Dr. Marvin felt it was important that we have a radio TV center on campus for two reasons. One was to provide an opportunity to enhance the academic experiences for our students, and the second reason was to have a greater community outreach, not only in Charleston but also in the whole East Central Illinois area.
Today, WEIU employs about 20 full-time staff. Not included in that number are the Eastern Illinois University students who work together each day to produce a live half-hour newscast called Newswatch, which is one of several local productions done here at the station. Students also take part in running our radio station called HitMix. Both offer students real-world experience, making them some of the most employable graduates in the United States. Other productions we do here include sports broadcasts of EIU athletic events, the Hootenanny Country Music Show, Season's Greetings, which is a holiday music production done right here in our studio, and of course Heartland Highways. Aside from those local programs, WEIU also airs PBS programming. The station broadcasts digital programming over the air to a 15-county region that includes East Central Illinois and Western Indiana.
Stepping outside the doors of WEIU, you now enter the campus of Eastern Illinois University, where our TV station is housed. Before we take you on a tour, here are a few facts about EIU. Consistently ranked in the top tier of Midwest colleges and universities in its class by U.S. News and World Report, Eastern, which is home to more than 12,000 students, is also one of the Princeton Review's best Midwestern colleges. EIU offers a textbook rental system, saving the average student hundreds of dollars each year. The 320-acre campus has one of the lowest crime rates among all public universities in the state and nationwide. Student graduation and retention rates are well above state and national averages. EIU is home of the Panthers. Intercollegiate athletics has always been a part of this university. In fact, just 45 days after the doors opened, the first football game was played. Today, EIU offers 21 different sports for student athletes. Facilities for all of the sporting events are located on the west side of campus.
Now that you've had a little preview, we'll take you for a full tour of our campus. Our first stop is the administration building, where it all began more than 100 years ago. Established in 1895 and originally called Eastern Illinois State Normal School, all of the classes were held in one building, Old Main, or as we like to call it, the Castle.
I loved Old Main. I walked in and I just said this is the kind of place, the way a university should be. It had a sense of history. It felt like this is a place where people can learn and where faculty and staff and students come together to complete an educational experience for the students.
The castle itself is constructed of Bedford limestone, and the Gothic architecture and design was carried into the interior, where furnishings, light fixtures, doors, stairways, and wall finishes were said to be designed to create an atmosphere conducive to the elevation of intellect and the soul.
This is a distinctive building because of the way it's built with the castle look, and the central part of it, which stands up as sort of a beacon in the middle of the plains here, you know, saying to people that this is a place, this is an important place, this is a place of learning and education.
Old Main holds a special place in the hearts of many. It's a favorite stop for a photograph on graduation day, and during the holidays, it's outlined with white lights and features a large Christmas tree in the main entrance. The building was officially renamed the Livingston C. Lord Administration Building after Eastern's first president. Livingston Lord was known for helping develop the university not only physically but academically as well. Right next to Old Main is another historic building, Pemberton Hall, which is the oldest women's residence hall in the state of Illinois. Built in 1909, Pemberton still serves today as a women's residence hall.
On the other side of Old Main is Blair Hall, constructed in 1913. Today the building looks as good as new. In April of 2004, however, a massive fire broke out in the building and gutted it completely. Having been constructed of limestone, the building's shell remained intact. Thankfully, Blair Hall was able to be saved and was named Renovation Restoration Project of the Year by Midwest Construction Magazine in 2006, as well as receiving many other accolades.
As you walk from the north end of campus to the south, you can't help but notice all of our landscaping and trees, something we all appreciate today. However, these park-like settings go back to the earliest days of campus. There even used to be a lake here. Well, more like a pond, actually. It was filled in the 1930s to make way for McAfee Gymnasium. Past EIU presidents have taken an interest and appreciation in the campus gardens. This sentiment is also shared with our 10th president, Dr. William Perry.
We have beautiful gardens with many different kinds of grasses and flowers. It's very interesting, I guess you'd say botanically, on the campus.
In addition to flower beds and landscaping, EIU also has an impressive and unique collection of trees. The oldest, here before the campus was even built, is the Bur Oak on the east side of Old Main. EIU's biology department operates the Thut Greenhouse, which features plants inside and out. In the summer of 2008, a much anticipated botanical event occurred which drew a lot of attention. The Titan Arum bloomed after a 6.5-year wait. The Titan Arum is a flowering plant with the largest unbranched inflorescence in the world. The plant is also known as the corpse flower because the flower's fragrance is similar to the odor of rotting meat. The bloom and the smell, while exciting, only lasted one day.
A garden walk or tree tour of the campus is a must and something our president tries to do on a regular basis.
I always admire the plantings. I like to see how the grasses and flowers are coming along, and sometimes, like the bed right up here on the south side of Old Main with the pepper plants in it, and all the color, the explosion of color as those have developed. But I would say that there's a great, just a great sense of place here, especially in springtime when everything starts budding out, and through the summer and then the fall, of course, when the leaves start to change. That's beautiful too. There's nothing not to like. Or to put it in a positive spin, everything here is enjoyable and beautiful, and I think people would enjoy just walking through the campus, and it's an open campus.
When it was first built on the south edge of campus, the library probably seemed like it was miles away from the rest of the buildings. But today it's nestled in what is now nearly the center of campus. Built in 1940, Booth Library has grown substantially, but retains much of its original beauty. Not far from the library is the Doudna Fine Art Center. Rededicated in 2008, the building was designed by internationally known architect Antoine Predock. Housing the College of Arts and Humanities, the building itself is a work of art. Doudna presents a number of EIU music and theater department performances throughout the year and hosts many outside performers too.
Also known for art is the Tarbell Arts Center, located just south of Buzzard Hall, where WEIU is housed. The Tarbell Arts Center, a division of the College of Arts and Humanities, provides arts activities and related programs, as well as housing a permanent collection and revolving shows of student, faculty, and outside artists' work. It is also the only facility on Eastern's campus built entirely through donated funds, with the primary gift of $1 million being donated by the late Newton E. Tarbell.
Along the southwest section of campus is the Panther Trail near the athletic facilities. It's used regularly by students and the community. This trail is where you can also find our disc golf course. Along the trail is also the EIU Observatory, which is run by the physics department and open to the public on certain days. If you use the trail during the springtime, be sure to check out the hundreds of daffodils that come into bloom right behind the baseball stadium.
If you think you need to be a student or staff member of EIU to enjoy campus, you don't. Eastern prides itself on being here for the people.
This university, if I was talking to someone, I would say it's your university. It's not our university, it's a state university, so it's your university too. And so you're welcome anytime to come on the campus, to walk through campus, to come in Old Main, to knock on the president's door, or just walk on in and say, hey, could I see the president? And if I'm there, the answer is going to be yes, because this really is the university, a university of the people of the state of Illinois.
Kate and I are proud to work at EIU. There's so much to see here, and we invite you to come out and enjoy it too.
Leaving campus, our tour continues with the rest of Charleston. The city, with a population of around 20,000, is the Coles County seat and was established in the early 1800s. The courthouse and Courthouse Square are the heart of the still bustling downtown. A prominent feature of the downtown area are the murals around the square. The mural project began in 1997 as a way to create an outdoor art gallery for tourists and locals alike to enjoy. The current murals depict Charleston's entertainment heritage, the Charleston Riot of 1864, Abraham Lincoln arriving at a historic train depot, as well as many others. Just off the square, heading towards the university, you'll find many historic homes lining the streets of the Midtown area. Here, Charleston's rich history is preserved in the restored and updated historic homes. Also historic, but maybe in a different way, is that Jimmy John's, a gourmet sandwich joint known for their Sub So Fast You'll Freak, was started in Charleston in 1983 by Jimmy John Leotard. Jimmy John started with a small shop with only a refrigerator, freezer, meat slicer, and oven, and now has nearly 700 stores in various locations. Putting all meat aside, Charleston and Coles County are also known for their rich history of the nation's 16th president and his family. Not only is there a debate museum and state historic site dedicated in Abraham Lincoln's honor, we also named our hospital after his stepmother. On the west side of Charleston is the Lincoln Douglas Debate Museum. The museum is the only one in Illinois that offers visitors a chance to retrace the senatorial debates of 1858 between Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas, which happened right there on the museum grounds. 2008 marked the 150th anniversary of the famous debates, and a special reenactment was put on over the summer on museum grounds to commemorate the sesquicentennial. The museum is open year-round and also participates in a State of Illinois heritage tourism project called Looking for Lincoln. These sites are marked with special signs that denote their historical importance in relation to Lincoln. We'll take you to another Lincoln site in just a few minutes, but first, let's head to Mattoon.
Mattoon, often pronounced Mattoon by outsiders, is just 10 miles from Charleston. There was once an interurban train that ran between the two cities, but today Highway 16 is the major road connecting the two towns. If you'd rather bike, walk, or run, then the Lincoln Prairie Grass Trail can get you there too. Mattoon's early growth came with the establishment of the railroad, starting in the 1850s with the Illinois Central, which ran from Chicago to New Orleans. For a time during the 1880s, the town was known as the expansion capital of the world. While many of the old depots and railroad buildings are long gone, a few still remain, including the Illinois Central Depot, which is still in use and is in the process of being restored. While the railroad helped establish Mattoon, other businesses came along later to help build the community to what we see today. Intrigued by technology, dentist and visionary Dr. I.A. Lumpkin founded the Mattoon Telephone Company back in 1894. Today, his company, now called Consolidated Communications, is a provider of not only phone service, but also internet and digital television. Today, Consolidated serves customers in Illinois, Texas, and Pennsylvania, and is the 12th largest telephone company in the U.S. Rural King Supply on the western edge of town started in 1960. Today, Mattoon serves as their flagship store, corporate office, and distribution center. Printer and publisher R.R. Donnelly, Lakeland College, the General Electric Lamp Plant, and Lender's Bagels are just a few more businesses and institutions who call Mattoon home. Every July, the Lender's Bagel takes center stage for Bagel Fest. All of the festivities take place in Peterson Park, which is a busy place year-round. Come holiday season, the park is transformed into a glowing wonderland known as Lightworks. Peterson Park is also where you'll find the Mattoon Welcome Center, located inside the historic Peterson House. Outsiders may be surprised to know that Burger King got its start here in Mattoon. No, it's not the chain one, it's what locals consider the original. Started in 1952 by Gene and Betty Hoots, the Burger King was originally an ice cream stand called the Frigid Queen. When they decided to add hamburgers, they needed a new name.
But Betty said, how about calling it the Burger King? That goes together, Burger King, Frigid Queen. And so we went to our attorney and registered the name. And we have a certificate that says Gene and Betty Hoots have the sole right to use the name Burger King in the state of Illinois, issued by Charles F. Carpentier, Secretary of State. But we ended up, they opened the store 2 or 3 years.
3 years later.
Opened the store up in Skokie, Illinois, and I went to our attorney, and he said, no, they can't do it. So he wrote them a letter. They wrote us a letter back, and we sued them, and they countersued, and it ended up in the federal court at Chicago, and they ruled that although we had the name first, they had an actual trademark, which was nationwide. Ours was statewide.
It was eventually ruled that the Burger King Corporation could not come within a 20-mile radius of Mattoon. Around Mattoon, you can spot wonderful old buildings like our 1903 Carnegie Library or the 1910 Post Office, which today houses our school district offices. If you're fond of old homes, then take a trip down Wabash and Lafayette Avenues. Or head down Western Avenue for even more homes and architecture. You'll also notice that some of our streets in the older neighborhoods are still made of brick. Just off Western Avenue is Lytle Park and Pool. Opened at the start of the Great Depression, this pool was once known as Mattoon's million-gallon pool. It was a welcome treat back then and still is to this day. If you like gardens like I do and quiet getaways, well, the Douglas Hart Nature Center offers 2 such places. The Friendship Garden, located in town, is a little oasis in the heart of the city. Just outside of town, the Nature Center offers a larger facility with groomed trails through the woods, wetlands, and tallgrass prairie. Their visitor center is open 7 days a week, all year long. If you're looking for more outdoor opportunities, well, Coles County is fortunate to have a state historic site and a state park. Fox Ridge, about 7 miles from Charleston on Highway 130, is where this familiar scene from Heartland Highways is filmed. The park was established in the 1940s. The Civilian Conservation Corps played an important role in the construction of the park's trails, buildings, and the dam that created Ridge Lake.
It is an experimental lake, and it has the significance of having the longest continuous fish study in the United States. When the lake was built in the 40s by the CCC, it was the first lake that was built to be drained just like a bathtub. That way they could always be sure of what they were starting with when they started a new fish study. Fishing Ridge Lake is fun because you have to go down 114 steps to get there. So when you get down there, you feel like you're kind of in an isolated area, you know, which is a nice way to get away. Most of our trails are like that. Once you get down in the ravines, you know, you're pretty much away from everything else, and you feel it's just nice to get away.
The contrast of high ridges and deep-cut ravines is the result of the Wisconsinian glacier that stopped here, a distinct change from the flatlands just outside of the park.
But we do have the largest forest in the county, continuous block of timber, so we do have some interior species of birds that you won't find in different parts of the county. You can find them here. We have pileated woodpeckers here.
Within the park's 2,000 acres, you'll find 43 camping sites and 3 sleeping cabins, lots of picnic areas, 10 miles of hiking trails, and 4 miles of horse trails. Whatever the season, Fox Ridge State Park provides outdoor opportunities in a unique central Illinois setting.
From the state park, you can make your way to the Lincoln Log Cabin State Historic Site. This was the 1840s home of Thomas and Sarah Bush Lincoln, father and stepmother of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was a lawyer residing in Springfield when his parents lived here, but he did visit every now and then.
It is a place that, that Lincoln visited. While he didn't live here with his father and stepmother, he did visit on a number of occasions, especially when traveling on the 8th Judicial Circuit in the 1840s and early 50s. The farm itself is owned by Thomas, except 40 acres was purchased by Abraham, and he did that in an effort to help his father and stepmother out in their old age.
The site's visitor center offers a variety of ways to learn about Lincoln, his family, and the State Historic Site. Artifacts, educational displays, and even life-size statues are just a few of the many things offered for visitors to see. Just a stone's throw from the Lincoln Log Cabin site is Shiloh Cemetery, where Thomas and Sarah Bush Lincoln are buried.
The cemetery is open daily from dusk until from dawn until dusk, and folks can go out there and see the final resting place of Thomas Lincoln. Also, with a new installation of the Looking for Lincoln sign out there, they learn a little bit more history about the grave marker at Thomas's grave.
This tour of Heartland Highways at Home has just scratched the surface of the many things our region has to offer.
Make every mile an adventure. And for more information about the places we featured on our show, just check out our website at weiu.net.
This episode closes out another season of Heartland Highways, but before we go, we want to thank our friends at Flesser's Candy Kitchen in Tuscola, Illinois.
While we've been filming, they've been busy at work behind the scenes, making and packaging hundreds of chocolates, caramels, and other goodies.
We want to thank you for coming along for Heartland Highways, where every mile is an adventure.
See you soon! Heartland Highways is made possible in part by
Consolidated Communications offers customers high-speed internet, digital phone service, and digital TV service packages that include high-definition channels, DVR, and hundreds of sports, movies, and music channels. More information on these services is available at consolidated.com. There's no place like home, and this week we're staying close with Heartland Highways at Home.
Fred distracted me, sorry.
In 3.
Hang on.
2, okay, 2.
Ever imagine you'd find, could you put more words? Ever imagine you'd find in the state of Ischnaufen?
Schnauflen.
Okay.
This episode's... Try again.
It's a heavy show next on Heartland Highways.
Oh, God.
I like it. Kate, in this first story, our viewers are going to get a chance to see our national bird as well as the fastest animal on Earth.
That's right. We